Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Ironhead Cards. It has been a minute since we've had an episode, but thanks for bearing with me here. As I mentioned on our last video, I've been going through my friend Mike's old sports cards that he and his brother had collected and kind of sorting through them, creating an Excel spreadsheet on what, according to eBay, is valuable and what worth getting graded and worth selling. So it's a whole mess load of cards, but man, I've found some really nice ones, and just wanted to share a few that I've found from their 1990 Flair basketball set. Had quite a few in there, and here are 6 cards. Well, there's 13 I'm going to show you, but 6 actual cards, actual players, I should say. 6 players I'm going to show you that are going to be worth a little something. So, without delaying any further, let's get started. We'll go in ascending order in terms of value. This one right here, let's see if I get it focused a little bit for you guys, is the 1990 Flair number 189 John Stockton. John Stockton, of course, Hall of Famer, member in the 92 Dream Team. You know him from the Utah Jazz with old, Karl Malone and John Stockton taking on the Bulls in the late 90s. He is still the NBA's all-time assist king with over 15,000 assists. So he, still one of the all-time great point guards, maybe the greatest point guard, depending on who you ask, of all time. His base card here, PSA 10, most recently on eBay, has gone for 36 to 46 bucks. So my friend Mike, he had 2 of these in his collection, and they are both pretty well centered. So really nice John Stockton cards, one of the great point guards of all time. Moving right along, going to card number 34 in the set, and is old Steve Kerr. Speaking of guards, Steve Kerr, of course, probably more well known now as the 3-time champion coach of the Golden State Warriors. But of course, before that, if you're as old as I am, you remember him with the Bulls and the Spurs, where he won 5 titles as a player, 3 with the Bulls, 2 with the Spurs. So he has 8 rings total in his career. One of the all-time greatest three-point shooters of all time, maybe the greatest, depending again on who you ask. He still holds the NBA record for career three-point field goal percentage at 45.4%. Twice he, I think, led the league with shooting over 50% from 3 in a season. This was, of course, one of them. This was the first. I don't know if this was the first time. Yeah, he shot as a in his first year with Cleveland, so second year in the league, he shot 50.7% from 3. So yeah, he started his career with Cleveland. He was a journeyman a little bit, but his most memorable years were, of course, with the Bulls and the Spurs, and of course, he's now known as great coach of the Warriors. Really great card to get on that 3-point career field goal percentage list. So Steve Kerr, number 1, 45.4. Number 2 is actually Seth Curry, not Steph, Seth at 44.4%. And then Steph, you have to go all the way down to 7th at 43.3%, which of course is still incredible. But just to show you how hard it is to catch Steve Kerr, old Steph Curry's 43.3%. But Seth Curry might have a chance to get him. If Seth, I think, is having a similar career to Steve, being a 3-point specialist off the bench. So maybe Seth can catch him. I don't know about Steph. Steph could. Who knows? But the great Steve Kerr. This card, PSA 10, is going for 60 bucks. So my friend Mike had 2 of them. So not too shabby there. Let's move right along to a guy who I think everyone should know. It's the great Charles Barkley, Sir Charles. This is card number 139 of the 1990 Flair set. Charles, of course, an 11-time NBA All-Star, 11-time All-NBA team selection. Sorry if you could hear a dog barking in the background. Someone has got their dog in the hallway, it sounds like. Member of the 92 Dream Team and the 1996 U.S. Olympic men's team that won gold, when he actually led the team in scoring in 96 at the Olympics. That was back when, I think that was the year Michael Jordan was helping Bugs Bunny save the world. But Charles was in Atlanta earning gold. And here's a crazy stat for you. Charles, of course, one of the most well-known basketball players because he's been on TNT. He's been a TNT analyst since 2000. So 21 years. he's been on TV longer than he played basketball, which is crazy to think about. Like, kids today probably just know Charles as the guy that's on TV with the fun takes and the insight on basketball. I'll always remember him as Sir Charles, the mound of rebound. I was a Rockets fan as a kid. I remember when he and Scottie Pippen tried to do one of the initial big three, free agency moves when they joined the Rockets, and Hakeem Olajuwon in the late 90s, but it didn't work out. But old Charles Barkley, this card is valued PSA 10 $49 to $62, so could be sitting on around 100 to $124 right here between these two cards in my friend Mike's collection. So very nice to see. Hold on a second, I'm just gonna turn the page in my notes. I took notes on all these cards and do some research. This next one right here, just a single, but it is a Flair 90s All-Stars of Patrick Ewing, New York Knicks great. 11-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 2-time gold medalist in '84 when he was just a Georgetown star in terms of what people knew him as, and '92 on the member of that Dream Team. Patrick Ewing, one of the great centers of the '90s, overshadowed by Hakeem and Shaq probably. I remember him, again, as a Rockets fan, I remember Hakeem beating him in the finals, and then I remember Patrick being kind of the elder statesman on those late '90s Knicks teams with Allen Houston and Latrell Sprewell, Marcus Camby, and Larry Johnson, that really made some runs and challenged for Eastern supremacy after Michael Jordan retired. But alas, Patrick Ewing, just like old Charles, was unable to win an NBA title. Still one of the all-time great centers of all time, one of the all-time great college basketball players of all time too, when he was at Georgetown. But this is a '90s All-Stars insert. It's kind of a rare card. The Jordan one is worth a lot. My friend had a Jordan one, but it was gravely off-centered. This one is pretty well centered, and if it PSA 10s, it's a $74 card. So a really nice Patrick Ewing card here. A nice little insert. It's a number 12 of 12. So there's I forget who the other guys were. I think there's a Barkley one. There might be an Olajuwon one. Obviously Jordan. I think Pippen, Karl Malone, some of those guys had David Robinson maybe. So a nice Patrick Ewing. Moving right along here, we've got two of the human highlight reel, which is Dominique Wilkins, the great Dominique from the Atlanta Hawks. This is card number 6 of the 1990 Flair set. Dominique, a 9-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, most well known as one of the premier dunkers of the 80s and 90s. 2-time dunk champion. He had some epic dunk competition duels with Michael Jordan. Kind of faded, kind of in the 90s a bit, but was a big-time dunk specialist. If you look at all-time greatest dunkers, he's certainly in the top 5 probably, with Jordan, Dr. J. The list goes on, but he is definitely up there. These two cards, I think, are grade worthy, although the one on the left, as you can see, has some weird red spot on it, and the one on the right does not. So the one on the right is a little bit better. PSA 10s of these would be $80, so this one might be a 9 on the left, but this one on the right has a chance to be a PSA 10 for $80. So congrats to Mike on having that in his collection. And then our final card that we'll kind of spotlight here is a guy who goes by one name, just like the great basketball players usually do. Top 5 basketball player probably, so definitely top 10, top 5, maybe top 3 depending on who you ask. This is of course card number 93 of the great Earvin Magic Johnson, and Mike here had 4 of them, so I put up the little stands to help me out here in terms of displaying them all at once, because it's hard to hold 4 cards there. But the Magic Johnson card here, he's a 5-time NBA champion, 3 times Finals MVP, 3 times regular season MVP, 12-time All-Star, 10-time All-NBA, 9-time first team. So his credentials speak for himself. He's on the Mount Rushmore for just about everyone probably. And his 11.19 career assists per game is still an NBA record. John Stockton was number 2 with over 10. So again, the 2 greatest assist men in the history of the NBA. We saw John Stockton earlier. This is Irvin Magic Johnson. This 1990 Flair card, so this was for the 90-91 season. And 1991, that was when Magic Johnson announced that he had tested HIV positive, which kind of turned his world upside down. He sat out of the NBA for a number of years before returning later in the 90s. But certainly this was, a momentous time for Magic following this season, which is Flair 1990. So the PSA 10 of this card goes for $100. So you're potentially looking at $400 right here. All 4 of these cards are beautifully centered. Again, in this era, or really any era, it's hard to get a centered card, and these look pretty beautiful. Also a great pose that you'll see of Magic Johnson here, just kind of in his element, cutting through the lane with the ball. So I mean, not cutting through the lane, just like driving the lane, I guess, with the ball. So really great looking card. Kind of a little bit of the history of this Flair 1990 set. It's not the most valuable set, but I did my homework, and if you go to oldsportscards.com, which is a great resource if you're ever looking up like a basketball or baseball or football card or whatever sports card history. So on oldsportscard.com, it says that, Topps had gotten out of the basketball card business in kind of I think 81 it said, and Flair really emerged. The 1986 Flair set with the rookie Michael Jordan, which goes for like millions of dollars these days, that is the premier set. By 1990, Flair was pretty popular with the kids, so a lot of these got printed everywhere, but this was a very popular set just because of collecting basketball cards was kind of cool by that point, and a lot of kids were doing it. So, I highly encourage you to go to oldsportscards.com to read more about this set. You'll see the more valuable cards in there, like anything that's a Jordan you want to keep. There's a Sean Kemp rookie, there's Scottie Pippen cards and stuff, which my friend had some of, but the ones I'm showing you here today are probably all the best centered cards I could find from his bunch. Overall, like all these cards, these 13 cards I showed you, like according to my guesses, like if these all PSA 10, which of course, they probably won't, but if they did, like this 13 set card grouping could be worth between like $900 to $975, so almost $1,000 in 13 cards. So me and Mike, we're gonna try to get them graded at some point. I'm not sure what PSA's deal is right now, if they're taking submissions or will be soon, but yeah, I'm hoping to get these cards graded, especially these Magics. I think the Magics could be worth something. But hey guys, thanks again for tuning in to another edition of Ironhead Cards. Thanks for your patience. It kind of takes me a while to kind of go through all these cards I'm grading, but I wanted to share some look at some old cards that Mike's got that I think are definitely very cool to look at. So hope you guys have a great week ahead, and we'll catch you next time right here on Ironhead Cards.